Clooney's. They had apparently they had a report. They had an interview with Gail,
Okay.
Oprah's friend.
Okay.
Best friend Gail.
All right, make this good.
The question, the life with the Clooney's. Mm-hmm. This Clooney, George and Amal, is that his wife's name? They never argue. That's the big thing about.
Never had an argument.
Never had an argument.
It's just
a lot of people are like, that's BS.
No, I can believe
it. I don't believe it. And then some people say,
with her, I can believe
what
it.
What is your definition of an argument?
Right.
A disagreement.
You know why I believe it?
Didn't go anywhere.
Is that what the story is?
Mm-hmm.
You know why I believe it?
Why?
Because the little bit I know about her.
What do you know about her?
She's very she's an intellectual, number one.
She probably feels she don't need to argue.
And most people who are that smart, like, can you imagine Albert Einstein arguing? It's almost like there's certain
point.
I'm smart. I'm smarter than you. She's smarter than he is. Mm-hmm. So, and she's like a Nobel Prize winner type of person. Like, she's up there, like, with her mind and how she thinks.
Sunny said on The View, she said that she don't argue with her husband. She says when he's upset.
Oh, I can't believe
Whoopi
that.
said she didn't believe it either.
Sunny
said when he's upset, Manny is upset with something, or he's made it known that he's angry. Mm-hmm. She'll just say, "Oh, okay." Oh, all right. Because she feel like if he's angry, what does she need to argue with him about? Because he's angry at something. Maybe she's done something. You know, whatever.
I don't believe. Sonny's husband don't argue with her.
Whoopi said, "That's BS.
It's
I
BS.
don't believe you because you are the type of woman that says I'm always right."
Yes.
So I guess she backs down when it's Sonny. You know what? This can be the kind.
I think it's her husband who doesn't argue with her.
No. I'm going back to what you said.
Okay.
About this one couple. The wife is very dominating, very vocal, bossy, always right, and he seems like he's a wimp or a whatever you say, honey, whatever you say, kind of honey man. But when he gets angry, the wife backs down because he never gets angry much. So she could be that kind of wife. Manny probably never gets angry hardly. When Manny is angry, that means she's done something. Because she even says, I back down.
Well, that means
because there's nothing to prove.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He probably has a reason.
That's
for
what I'm
being
saying.
Angry at
he's
me.
Probably, like I was saying, he's probably the type that doesn't argue with her.
Thank you.
She probably runs her mouth all the time.
But she's a lawyer,
a debater, and he just doesn't argue.
Right.
When he wants to say something,
she backs
down because it's almost like my friend who that I talk to, because I have a big mouth and I talk and have opinions.
People probably going, really?
Yes, and have opinions. Shut up, stupid. But he doesn't argue a lot.
And why argue?
When he does argue, I move away because
you know they're really that point needs to be made.
Exactly. Other than that, and that's another thing. Mm-hmm. He doesn't argue a lot because he values what I'm saying. Manny could probably value what she's saying, which means even though I don't agree with you, I'm listening to you because I value what you're saying.
And that's not an argument per se.
It's not an argument.
Sarah said, if you have children, sometimes you can have disagreements on how they're raised. That's both of you have special interest in your children. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times you can pretty much, being human, may have a disagreement on the school or where they, anything. So you wonder with them, how do they talk about raising their children? What school, what religion, what clothing, stay overnight, sleepovers.
Well, they kid not that old yet. So maybe they have.
So maybe that, and Sarah's like, that's a natural. But then how you may not consider that as a argument.
But I can see them not arguing because like I said, her personality to me, just from what I've seen, I don't know them. She seems like an intellectual. And then from him, if you notice with George Clooney, again, we don't know him personally. Just from what we've seen about him being in controversies or whatever, he doesn't argue. He doesn't come back and say this or that. He'll say his point. He's the Sonny in the family. I guarantee you. He's the one that's opinionated. This is what I think. And, and she probably values what he says. Right. And it's not
There's
worth.
No reason to argue.
What am I going to argue about that for? But when she probably has a point, he probably says,
steps back.
I step back because she don't
She
never
hardly ever
come
comes
at me.
forth.
Right.
So, and then too, Sarah thought maybe as well, they're private. So you may not want to tell the news media or Gail.
No, but you wouldn't lie.
No, not lie, but they may not consider those as arguments.
Okay.
So they may, and then too, you never know.
But you wouldn't lie. Like you wouldn't say, no, we never argue.
Well, she said they don't.
No, I'm saying if he was lying. You say don't keep it private, don't want to tell anybody.
And they may not consider
that means you just plain lying.
But then a part of me don't agree if they're not considering that as an argument.
That's true too. What's your definition of an argument?
Yeah, like a disagreement.
A disagreement, they may not consider that an argument.
Exactly. If you arguing back and forth.
Like an argument to me is like what we do. Uh-huh. You say something stupid, and then I say something
like Lauren Hardy.
And then I say something, right? I say something that makes sense, and then you don't agree. Mm-hmm. So then you come back and go, I don't agree with that.
So I'm trying to argue my point.
Yes, and then I go, what moron would not agree with what I'm saying? Uh-huh. And then you don't call me a moron. Everybody don't have to think the same. That's an argument,
right?
Versus I think this, and then you say, well, okay, that's valid. This is what I think. Oh, okay. That's not an argument.
Exactly. You just both stating how you feel about something.
So maybe that's what they do.
I think she's a very intelligent person.
But she's intelligent.
Don't waste time. That's a lot of energy.
And most of the stuff he would argue about, he compared to her, he's a moron. Oh. So he would be like, I'm not even arguing with her. She's brilliant.
It's not worth it.
Why would I argue with somebody that's brilliant?
I can't win that one.
I'm not going to win.
Okay.
Like some of the stuff we argue about is because we both don't know what we're talking about.
Probably.
Whereas if you literally
we have strong emotions about it, and then when somebody comes along in the school
who actually knows,
and we'll both sit there and go,
all right. That's what I'm saying.
I get it.
So some people probably watch our channel who know the answer, and like both of y'all are morons.
I know.
This is the real.
Care if you do call me one,
right?
I don't know what I'm talking
but
about.
I'm saying,
but I do. As far as emotional,
right.
I can be emotionally tied to it, and not think,
yeah.
Okay.
And then there's some things that's not fact; it's just your opinion.
That's how you feel.
So
you could be totally wrong, but that's how you feel.
That's a good one. So that's all they talked about.
That was the two things I wanted to talk about. There was another one if we have time, but okay. I wanted to hear the rest of yours.
Oh, well, I don't think I had that much.
You had those two.
I had that one, and I had P&B.
P&B.
They officially arrested the guy who shot P&B Rock. Remember, he was in he was in the waffle chicken in the house,
and his girlfriend said where they were.
Everybody was saying that his girlfriend posted where they were. That's not what happened.
That's not an investigation.
No, but that's not.
Can do.
That's not what happened. Though.
What happened?
The people who shot him were already there. Had nothing to do with her post.